Good day. Welcome to the Vacation Rental Life Show with Matt Ward and Derek Eaton, my co-partner in crime, I guess you would say, vacation rental crime. And today we are coming to you from, I don't know, we're at our different residences, many different ones. Derek actually jumps from Airbnb to Airbnb or listing to listing, however he likes to say.
Yeah.
Probably because he has some sort of, doesn't have a negative COVID test, so he can't get back into Hawaii yet. Not that he has a positive one either. He just needs to go get a negative one to get back into Hawaii.
Well, even then, that doesn't do me any good right now. They keep pushing the date back. So
yeah, there you go.
I don't know when I'll be able to go.
We are from the Vacation Rental Life, and our group is the Vacation Rental Life Facebook group, and we've got the Facebook page. So make sure if you're watching that you're jumping into our Vacation Rental Life group on Facebook, where we talk all things vacation rental life. And what we believe is a vacation rental life is the life that you thought you wanted, thought you were going to have when you became a vacation rental owner. And somehow it all got away, just like every other business in this world. And we want to get back to what we like. That's why I have the picture of the ATVs in Idaho. That was one of my best vacations and most memorable vacations I ever did. And that's why Derek's got that beach and golf scene photo behind him, because he would love to be on a golf course on an island while
having a negative COVID test.
With a negative test. So tonight we got a couple new people.
Quarantine.
We got a couple new people on the call, Dan and I think Joe. I'm not sure if you've been here before, Joe, but welcome. This is a very informal program. Tonight we're going to do a listing review that Dan has submitted. And we don't have any news for you today on industry information, which is probably good, which means we can jump right into the listing review. So as a reminder, we're going to take this listing that Dan submitted. Derek is going to look at it from a manager's standpoint, sort of a vacation rental owner's standpoint, a manager's standpoint. And I am going to look at it from the guest standpoint. So the first thing I look at is this listing is affordable at $170, $79 a night. I like that. The only thing I did notice sort of right off the bat, Derek, if you want to scroll to the top.
Okay.
I just thought that headline was a little interesting to me. I guess it speaks to me if I'm looking for top rated. But I don't know what that means. As a guest, I wonder, what is a top-rated Kauai vacation getaway? Now, where that might come in handy is if I'm Googling top-rated Kauai vacation getaway. So I'd have to check to see if that ranks really, really well. I mean, he is a super host. And I think that rainbow photo is good. Hopefully that's a guest submitted photo, but if that's a double rainbow, if that's from the video, the double rainbow all the way across the sky, we're going to have a big issue here.
Yeah.
Dan, where's the photo from?
That is from the internet. Stock photography.
Oh, no, you did not. Okay.
If you want an image of double rainbow from Kauai, I have some on my phone. So
yeah, you can get one from Derek.
Yeah,
because I don't know if you take it from the internet, if that's ever really going to happen. Although you're showing me it's going to happen. In lieu of that photo, I love the photo on the bottom right in the header, the one with the swing chair. So those swing chairs are like all the rage now, and to me, they speak relaxation. So that might be an alternative photo that you could use as a highlight photo. I like the fact that I get an entire townhouse and you are calling that out. Or is that even editable on Airbnb, Derek?
The entire townhouse? No, because once you select the type of property,
that's what shows up there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
so,
cool.
I don't have a double rainbow for you, but there's a single rainbow as far as my background. Changed it for you.
Oh, Lord. All right, so that's what I got here.
Yeah. So yeah, I want to check out all your photos here and see what we have to find.
See if you got any more from the internet that are actually yours.
Yeah, exactly. What development is this in, Dan?
Yeah, Princeville, Hollymoy.
Hollymoy. Okay. Yeah. 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 Very familiar. I like your, your signage and the nodding to the Hawaiian with the modern approach to it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Not your typical Hawaiian 80s rattan.
Decor.
Yeah, 80s rattan that hasn't been changed.
If I had it my way, I'd make it a giant tiki bar, but
So there's a problem with that photo. What's the sign all about? Why is it laying down on the counter?
yeah, good question.
Good catch.
Good eye. I
Yeah.
never noticed that.
Oh, that's how you speak Australian? You just say good eye, mate. Anytime. Good eye, mate.
Good eye.
Good eye, mate. Try it, Linda.
What?
Try it. Say the three words together. Good eye and mate. Say it.
Good eye, mate.
There you go.
Yeah,
Good
there you
job. All right, so that's my beach stuff I get to walk down there with. That's cool. And you got Tommy Bahama chairs, right?
Yep.
So that kind of makes me feel like they're not cheap because they're a brand. They may be cheap, but the brand itself is not cheap. So it feels like you got good quality stuff by just showing me that. So I like that.
Yep.
How new are laundry machines?
Those ones are 3 years old now.
So they're not very new, are they?
Well, when the listing was put up 3 years ago, I haven't.
They were brand new when the listing was put up 3 years ago. So that, we got to watch our wording on some of these things because guests will pick up on things like that. They do look new, but that's because you took the photo like the day they were installed, So if that photo, I mean, if they're faded, if they're worn at all in any way, that's going to be a negative surprise for the guest if they open up the closet, see that thing, you know what I mean? So just, I don't even know if you need to show washing machines and dryers and utility closets.
It's for Kauai. It's a nice thing to have because not everyone has them. And doing laundry, there's coin operated places, but you have to drive all the way to Kapa'a.
Yeah, so there's a value to that. Then instead of saying new laundry machines, I would say stackable,
front load.
I would say front load machines in unit.
Yeah.
That way it's a little bit more clear. But okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and you do have to be careful about appliances on Kauai because they don't last. That's one thing I've learned quickly.
Is it the humidity and the salt or whatever?
Yeah, salt, air, and everything. I mean, in 1 year had to change three refrigerators in a year. Oh, wow. And that's something that I've never faced in Seattle ever. I've never had a refrigerator just die, and they weren't necessarily that old either. None of them were that old, but just the salt air, the humidity, the heat just kills.
Yeah, I've had a few TVs go bad and a fridge.
Yeah, well, and TVs. Yeah, I've had to replace some TVs too. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Another stock image.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
So, I mean, with a picture like this, I mean, I think they know right away that that's not taken by the host or the guest. But that's okay because I can still place myself as a guest. I can still place myself on this pier, which I think is great.
I got some images of my kids jumping off that. If you want to, I can pimp out my kids and sell you the images.
Nice.
Yeah. This one, it looks like you may have actually taken.
Yeah, these are all. Most of these are just the iPhone
Yeah,
shots.
that's a good sunset. Nice.
I like the fact that you're putting the time frame in of how long it will take me to get to these points.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great. I think it would pose a question for me when renting, which you may or may not solve later, which is, hey, Dan, you know all those pictures you have that are just a few walks from the house, sunsets and sunrises? How do I get to all those places? Like, do you have a guest book that shows me how to get to these places?
Well, you can kind of see the ocean from when you walk out the unit door and look to the left, you see the ocean.
Yeah.
And you would see the sun setting there. But in my instructions, there's to make a left to go down to the sunset or ocean.
I mean, are they all at the same spot?
Those were pretty much, most of them are, if not Hanalei Bay or the Princeville Sunset Lookout spot.
Yeah, those were all. But this is east side, isn't it? Or is this south side? I'm trying to figure out if this is Poipu or
Yeah, not sure.
Kapa'a.
Not sure.
But that's definitely not North Shore.
See that from a guest perspective, I'm not sure. I'll never see that.
Yeah.
I want to see photos that I can actually see. Like the other photos you had, they, especially I think if you change some of these captions to say, sunset taken with iPhone, that tells me it's not enhanced. You just took it. You didn't put any filters on it. You didn't enhance it. There's that chair I was talking about.
Love that.
Yeah, see these chairs, they look fun and they look relaxing.
Yeah, it's the Instagram swing chair. You got to have one now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought 4 of those for my units there.
Cool. Yeah, good overall.
So
images.
there's a couple pictures here that don't have captions. I would suggest maybe adding some on, but definitely making edits to the ones that you said were taken with an iPhone. I think that tells me a lot as a potential guest of what I can expect the sunset to look like through a phone, non-enhanced, not filtered, any of that stuff.
Yeah.
That to me makes it way more bookable.
Yeah. And the other thing that I think you could, because I do appreciate you have a lot of area photos. In my experience from managing on Kauai, when people go to Kauai, they go all over. So I think like you have that one that's of Poipu Beach, but I would, instead of that, maybe have a picture of Waimea Canyon, have a picture of the taro fields, like the viewpoint from the Princeville, across from the Princeville Center of the taro fields. Some pictures, the pictures of Princeville Center itself, so people know how close that is, and the fact that they could walk there. They might not, but you can walk to Princeville Center from Holimoe and go to dinner. So some of those things. Because there's a lot of people some people, yes, they go to Princeville and they never leave the North Shore, but a lot of people, especially first timers, go to Kauai, they go the entire island.
Yeah, some people really go after it.
Yeah.
For the whole island.
Yeah.
2 things that I love about going to Princeville, because it's my favorite area to go, is the cute little downtown Honolulu. Be
Yeah.
fun to have a picture of one of the restaurants or a couple of the restaurants downtown.
Yeah, or the
in that
food truck
area.
rodeo.
Yeah, and a picture of the street that's so cute, the juice bar or something like that. And
So there's definitely something missing there because all I'm seeing it from an activity standpoint is the beach. And I
Yeah.
think to Linda's point, you might be missing whatever else there is to offer. I've never been to Hawaii, so I don't know what they're talking about. But definitely like the vibe of a local coffee shop or the vibe of what else there might be. Plus, Derek, can you look at picture 2, please?
Hmm.
So I want a center framed focus picture of that paradise sign. I think you buried the lead. You know, they say that in the news. You buried the lead. That sign, paradise, is the focal point of your living space. And I think you could draw that out more. It's got good pop of color in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can barely see it here. It's washed out by that uplight.
Yeah.
But here I see the Mahalo, which makes sense.
Yeah.
So this is a studio or a townhome?
It's actually a 2-bedroom unit, and it has basically lock-off doors, so you can rent it as 2. You walk into the front door, into the lobby, and there's a apartment on the left and an apartment on the right. And so we're looking at the one of the studios.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a studio unit versus the 1-bedroom unit. That's the wonderful thing about the Holly Moy's, like ROI wise, they make great little rentals if you can get your hands on them. There's not very many of those units, but
Right, but then I saw, what I saw was I saw the bed on a lower level from the living room, which made me feel like it's a studio.
Well, this is a studio, I guess.
yeah, this unit is a studio unit. So it basically it has a lock off. So you can rent these as a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, or a studio unit and a 1-bedroom unit separate with a lockout type.
But it's
Yeah.
not a townhouse.
Well, it is an upstairs downstairs unit.
Oh,
Well, I guess if you say it's not an apartment, the options when you pick on Airbnb, it's not a house. It's not. It's
I see what you're saying. You were limited to what you could choose.
Yeah, I mean you could say condo too.
yeah.
I think
You've
now
never
that we
run
bring-
into that, huh, Dan? Anybody asking you or clarifying that or whatever?
Sometimes you get people asking if it's a lower level or upper level or where it's at in the building, but
I
not
see.
on the townhome part now.
Yeah.
I mean, so that comes from somebody that's owned two townhomes. So to me, the townhome is that front door, 3-level, 2-level type of scenario. No lock off like you're talking about. So when it's classified as a townhome, there tends to be a lot more living space than what I just saw in those photos.
Yeah.
That's why I asked about it.
Sure.
Yeah, I might see what happens. I mean, you might want to change it to condo and see how that goes for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Clean, tidy.
I wonder if people actually click that on a filter when they're looking.
Well, so that's a good question. Derek, can you pull up an Airbnb search real quick to see about the filtering?
There is
sure.
filtering, but I'm just wondering if people
Click on townhome.
drill
I've
down
never clicked on townhome. I would click on whole house
Yep.
because I do not ever want to stay in a shared.
Yeah.
Type of place. Entire place.
Yeah,
apartment,
it's just
hotel
entire
room,
place.
More filters. I think under the property type. So this is where you do that. So it is kind of buried.
It's
far-
there on their townhouse. Lots
Yeah.
of clicks to get there. So I wonder
Yeah.
if very few people would actually be doing that.
Yeah, it'd be more if they found it in the native search and then decided that was
Right.
the type of property. Because it shows here entire condominium, entire house, entire loft.
Yeah. Okay. Let's jump back over to
Yep.
the. So you do say it's a studio apartment there. So that's fine. I think you're covered when you again. We know people don't actually read the stuff, but at least you've got yourself covered what they do, right? So.
Yeah. And knowing that this unit now is a studio, having the washer dryer picture, I do think makes sense because a lot of the studio units in Princeville do not have washer dryer. Thinking of like Sandpiper and stuff like that. So
Yeah, and that Kapaha drive is a long way for laundry for people that live on the other side.
Exactly.
So let's click on the actual review section. I want to see.
I mean, this is, you want to show all.
Yeah. Dan, how come you don't reply to them?
I have a lot of units, so I don't have time, but I should.
So we've said this before on a couple of review sites.
Sometimes I do, but I do.
Yeah, like right here. Yeah.
Yep.
So like, my girlfriend Lisa, who books all the stuff for us, she only ever looks. I don't know if she would have made it down this far. It looks like you've done quite a few of them, but maybe it got away from you and you got to go back to it. But she always looks to see that there's a review, a comment from the owner for every single review. Because to her, what that does is communicate that the owner communicates back and is available. It's less about what they say and even the reviews. She doesn't care what the reviews say. Okay. It's about the response, and the response shows her where the level of response that an owner gives back to the guest. Is it a make or break? Probably not. But if we're comparing two properties and the last 5 reviews on each property are different in the sense of just responding, we're probably going to lean toward the one where the responses were provided. But you still have 5, 4 9s, 4 8s, 5s for everything. So that's definitely killer for sure.
Yeah, people are really happy in Kauai. So it's an easy place to host, and everyone arrives and generally pretty happy. That's one of my favorite things about Kauai is the guests are always happy.
Somebody mentioned the washer dryer there too.
Yep.
Yeah, my power bill shows that they love it.
Yeah.
In Kauai.
Well, it's an important feature, like beyond your clothes too. The fact that your towels, like all that, like because you're swimming all the time, to be able to wash and dry your.
I tell you what, we wouldn't stay in a place without it.
Yeah.
When we went to St. Thomas, it had a washer machine and dryer in the place we rented, and the dryer broke the day we got there, and we were super disappointed, because so this is an important thing to note. Everybody travels differently, and I've been talking about this in some of these Airbnb forums. Everybody travels differently. It's not your job to know how the guest, travels, but I think it's important to hear a different perspective. We don't travel with anything but carry-ons. So we're doing we try to do it in a single rollerboard carry-on for every time we travel, because we don't want to check luggage. We don't want to wait on the luggage. We don't want to carry a bunch of stuff around with us. So we always book a place with a washing machine and dryer, and would do about 1 load of laundry every other day. You know, it's not a super amount of laundry. We just, because it's small loads, but we like that flexibility, and it makes the world of difference for us. So just perspective wise, you know, I think you have a big winner there for sure with it, and that's the thing we said on somebody else's review. I think it might have been Linda's, which was if they're writing in the reviews about it, then it should be in your listing, either in the headline or in the description, you know, earlier photo. So
Yep.
what are you doing? Are you checking pricing?
Yeah. Checking pricing, looking at his calendar, seeing. Now, have you been manipulating your rates at all because of the fact that, you know, basically it's quarantine only and or locals only, or you just letting it ride?
Yeah, I'm just letting it ride. I generally don't have good experiences with locals staying.
Yeah, it is a challenge, and on Kauai, I do
Yeah,
understand
and
that.
it's not worth it to drop it down either to get 100 a night with then they trash the place or
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in a good spot where you don't need the bookings, you know,
Yeah.
great. But you know, that I was just gonna say that I know even from my own personal experience in that, you know, I'm living when I'm not in Seattle like I am right now. I'm in Kalaheo, and we love going to the North Shore and sometimes go up for the weekend. But we, you know, thankfully I have some friends that own property up there, and I sometimes get to crash there. But the finding places that are able to work, that are willing to work with locals, and I think there is a way to kind of sort that out. I realize Airbnb is a tough platform to do that because you normally don't get to have a lot of conversation before they book, especially if you have instant book turned on and things like that. But there is a market for people that would be a good local guest. I realize that's tough, but
Yeah, I did have it down for July to 120 and 129, and still with 2 night minimum. And I
yeah,
think the cleaning fee, flat rate cleaning fee from my cleaning company for 2 nights is the same as if it's a week.
yeah,
You add that on, then you add the transient occupancy taxes, and it's $500-600 for
yeah,
a couple nights. So it's really not worth it for most locals too.
yeah. Well, but I'm saying even for locals, because of school being out and stuff like that, like I know families on the South Shore that go up to the North Shore for 3-4
Okay.
nights and wouldn't bat an eye during summer. Now school's about to start, and so that those options are probably pretty limited. But
Why? That's not gonna matter. Everything's gonna be remote anyway.
not in Hawaii. They're going to school. Yeah.
For about 15 days.
No, well, I mean, obviously it could be subject to change, but Kauai's had such a low case count that we're kind of unique compared to Oahu. It's been blowing.
All right, well, we could talk COVID again every week, but let's stick to this.
Sure.
But anyway, but yeah, no, I mean, overall, I think it's good. I think thinking about the pictures, like what we talked about,
Yeah.
I would say maybe even bring up this balcony image and having the egg chair further up in the equation, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, overall, it's good listening. I mean, do you feel? Let me ask you this: do you feel like it's converting well? Do you get good bookings from your Airbnb listing, or?
Yeah. When Kauai was busy, it was booked 28 days a month, so it did really well. And then I read somewhere once before, if it's not broke, don't fix it on your listing, especially the listing title and all that. Like
Yeah.
what's funny is the studio on the other side is smaller, has a small kitchenette, no laundry, and it's called Aloha Couples Getaway or something. And
Mhm.
that one does better than this one with the kitchen and laundry.
What's
Really?
the rate difference?
It's $20 less.
Yeah.
So, but for some reason that one it's higher rank in Airbnb world,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
and people rent that one all the time before they rent this one because it gets thrown up. I think on search more for some reason. It might have a higher the wording I think could be helpful, but it might also have a slightly higher star rating. I have to.
Well, it might have a higher click-through rating, which is gonna increase the conversion, and that could be solely based on your anchor photo, your highlight photo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's probably a combination of that and also just knowing what I know about the Kauai market. There is a high demand for that bargain North Shore property because there aren't many of them.
Yeah.
People want to be on the North Shore, but don't have the budget for it. So
Yeah, when in season, most of the time you can get 210 to a little bit more a night
yeah,
for the one studio.
When's your season?
Most of the year.
yeah.
Few-
December through April is like kind of the sweet spot, and then yeah, I mean, but you definitely it's busy for most of the year in Hawaii. Now we get to see John. Is he on Waikiki?
Yeah, Waikiki Beach.
Yeah,
It's empty.
nice.
Nice.
Last time I was there, my wallet got stolen.
I know.
Oh, that's the wallet I found.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, keep going. I'm just listening. I'm waiting for the instructor now.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, let's see what we got. 5:30. Should we jump to his other?
Yeah, I just want to ask Dan. Dan, what do you got for? Do you have a website too?
No, I would like to get one, but to get some direct bookings. But I put this up 3 years ago, and it's been booked like pretty solid for 3 years, and I have never had to diversify platforms with this listing. These Kauai listings, so that's one of the reasons I don't have a website. But
How many total listings do you have? Just the two?
there's 4 here in Kauai, and then 3 in Tahoe.
Oh, right. Okay. So you have 7 total listings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have no way to get your email list.
Are you doing email marketing?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Do you have any Facebook pages or social media?
No.
So you're with the COVID thing. Was that sort of a wake up call?
What's that?
Just because Airbnb took all your listings and gave them all back to other people?
Yeah, that's definitely with VRBO letting you decide, what to do with the money was one. Is that what they ended up doing for you guys?
Well, yeah, and direct direct bookings, you get to decide everything.
Yeah.
I was just dealing with one today with actually, asked Derek about what he would do.
Yeah.
And it worked out in our favor. In our case, we had a guest who came through VRBO a couple years ago, our high season months down in Florida. And he stayed last year, and then he rebooked for this coming year. Booked direct with us, so we took a 10% non-refundable deposit. Then COVID hit. Then he got to his 40% payment and was like, well, I'm really unsure. What do I do? And we said, all right, well, we'll give you a couple more months just to kind of wait and see how it pans out. But, come August 1st, you're due to pay your 40. We gave him a 2-month extension on it. And he was due for 40% on August 1st. So he had to call today with us. And it was like, well, what happens if I can't travel and this and that? And we're like, well, let us talk about it. We'll get back to you. And just so happens I was on a call with Derek and I said, hey, Derek, what do you think about this? And Derek's like, Well, the guy's booking for longer than 30 days. So the shutdown specifically is for short-term rentals less than 30 days. So he wouldn't even be, if they shut him down, he wouldn't even be included in that shutdown. And that was the tipping point for us to say, hey, you know, we can open it back up right now, but if you want to hold it, you got to have to pay the 40% non-refundable, you know? And here's the thing. If they shut it down, it's going to be shut down for short term. You don't qualify as short term because you're staying longer than 30 days. Yep. And he's like, okay, I'm mailing a check. But that's us to decide, not Airbnb and not VRBO.
What about if the guest does a chargeback? Have you guys had any problems with
Well, we don't take credit card on that.
Okay.
In that scenario. And because this is our big booking for the season, right? So for us, he's booking 2 out of our 3 months, which is about 10 grand. And so he's paying with a check. I'd rather not take the credit card on that.
Yep.
But, you know, if he wanted to pay with a credit card, I would ask him to pay with friends and family via PayPal. That way he can't do a chargeback.
Okay.
Because that's a workaround with that. Now that I might get flagged on PayPal with that.
Especially for that dollar amount.
They're going to hold my money or something like that, or ask some questions. But I'm just trying to avoid the opportunity for him to do that for sure. But yeah, you know, if it was a smaller one, you know, we've done it through PayPal or something. It's a much less amount of money. Different story. I'm not too worried about it. We haven't had any chargebacks, but we're not doing the volume Derek's doing direct either. You know, Derek's got.
I've had a few, but I mean, the chargebacks are. I mean, it is what it is. Like they're not the end of the world. They're not fun. Like you have to deal with them. You try to send in your paperwork. You try to win them. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you don't. But at the end of the day, that's better than, you know. As far as in my case, I had $77,000 taken out of my account of earned income by Airbnb in 1 week.
Yep.
So take a couple chargebacks over that any day.
Yeah.
This is one of your properties in Tahoe?
Well, and before we switch gears, John put in the chat, he's working on a direct booking website in Hawaii that he's working on building something. So you guys might want to connect about that at some point. I've talked to him a little bit about his project he's working on. So I don't know how far along he is yet, but he's planning on putting together a website to allow people to book direct with owners for the Hawaiian Islands. So
Very
You gotta wonder what do you save nowadays if you do direct booking? 'Cause it seems like the fees keep changing and getting higher because the Airbnb's booking fee for the guest gets higher, and then they're charging us 3%.
Well, I mean, you pay that 3% on a credit card, basically around that 2.5% to 3% for credit card fees anyway. But it's more about you can either up your prices by that 10 to 15% that Airbnb is taking, or you can raise it 5% and make 5% more, or you pass that along to the guest. You know, whatever business model works for you.
Yeah.
But then you also think about the amount of time, at least for me. I mean, I spend, unfortunately, or someone from my team spends hours a week dealing with Airbnb, with customer service, with issues, follow up on payment stuff, you know, headaches that you don't have to do that when it's booking direct, or they're just a lot different because you have so much more control.
Yeah.
We just finally put up on Airbnb, like within like 4 days. We were just like, all right, well, I've been sitting here talking about Airbnb for months now, and finally we just said, okay, we'll put up a listing on Airbnb for our property, because we've pretty much been on VRBO for 6 years, and put it up. Got a booking today for December.
Yep.
So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
It was a lot smoother than the first time we tried Airbnb and the person wanted a discount. The very first guest wanted a
Yeah.
discount. So that's what turned us away from it, was the whole negotiation approach that a lot of people seem to have. So I don't know if that's changed over time. You know, the person that inquired today didn't negotiate. They
Yeah.
didn't want to negotiate.
I would say overall, I mean, there's still the people that want a discount on Airbnb for sure. They're out there, I think, but they're out there on VRBO too. It's a lot less. I find it a lot less than I used to. I feel like it's kind of a matured audience for Airbnb. I mean, it went from just being the millennials using it to the millennials had their parents on and taught their parents about it and their grandparents, etc. So now really there's Airbnb is demographic wise everybody.
And Dan, are your properties on VRBO or just Airbnb?
The Tahoe properties are on VRBO, and I find that
You book more of the Tahoe through VRBO than Airbnb, or vice versa?
100% on Airbnb. The VRBOs don't really generate very many bookings.
Interesting.
If it is a VRBO booking, it's the last minute, like holiday, New Year's Eve they want it, you know, or they always. I get a lot of requests for the July 4th holiday weekends. So, and anybody asking for a discount, by the way, is trouble in my books.
Yep.
Trying to get $10 off or 25
Yeah.
bucks. They always turn out to be bad guests for me. So that's one of my rules. I need to have my own 10 rules I follow that not to give them a discount.
Yep.
They always do something, in my opinion.
Yep. 75 jets in that hot tub. That's impressive.
That sounds painful.
It's a great picture.
Is that a slide?
Covered staircase for the snow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can you turn it into a slide?
Yeah, I know. Matt wants to go sliding down the.
Would slide down it. You wouldn't land in anything comfortable but the road.
Land in a snowbank, maybe at the right time of year.
That would shoot you right out into the middle of the road, unfortunately.
Oh.
Surprised one of my renters hasn't tried it.
Yeah.
The clientele I get sometimes.
So one thing we didn't talk about the last listing, which I think is still also definitely true on this listing, is I can tell that these are definitely better than average images, but for $785 a night, hire a professional photographer and do HDR photos.
Sure.
You know, you'll make it back in one night, half a night. You know.
This is a 9-year-old listing, by the way, so we're going to see some vintage photography in here, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. But that's a good point. Yeah, the rates have doubled in Tahoe for the.
How much did you get a quote for a photographer in Tahoe?
No, I mean the rates have doubled booking wise. Like you've been able to charge twice as much for the listing for the summer because of the demand. Everybody wants to get out of town, so that's why it's $785 right now. But normally in the wintertime, like $699, $599. So.
After you guys gave me advice to get better pictures, I hired a photographer, and he was fantastic.
How much did he charge you?
He charges $50 per photo that you choose, with a minimum 25 pictures, and you'd want that many at least. So if
$50 a photo per chosen photo, and you're taking at least 25, that's like $1,200.
Right.
That's incredibly expensive for. I'm not saying he's not good, but my photos in Florida were $300, and that included drone.
He's
So,
included drone too and a walkthrough. I
oh, you
feel
did,
that,
he did a walkthrough too?
yeah.
So that's extra too.
Yeah, that makes sense if you did a 3D
He did a
Matterport with it.
3D thing where you can click around. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's
So
what you paid for.
yeah,
You paid for
3D
that.
plus drone plus that. That's a good overall package.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
about 1,500 bucks. I mean, too, though, you guys are talking about your these are for your Tahoe properties too. So it's a way different, value proposition, right? You rent once and it pays it back.
Yeah.
Well, the minute that I posted those photos, I got 2 bookings, like within an hour. So I really feel, and then my girlfriend shared it on Facebook, and I got 2 more bookings. That never happens. It's all because of the photos.
I'm
So I
pretty
think
sure
it's,
that don't we have a commission agreement with you or something?
yeah, you should. You gotta get
the
that
conference.
right up front.
Yeah. Yep.
I thought I got all your places for attending the conference today with the membership fee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's $1 million plus we get 10% of bookings.
It's worth it, Dan.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah. So, I mean, overall, I'd say that what I'm seeing from these photos is just, I think the professional photos are going to really showcase the place that much better. I think this is a really cool shot, and I wouldn't mind keeping that because you're not going to get that same effect from a professional necessarily.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, just because it's going to open up, you're going to get so much more space in each photo. And some of these where you're showing the hikes and everything, that's great. But like this image is good, but I think when an HDR photographer does this, it's going to just blow your mind as far as how much it's going to convert.
Okay.
And the funny thing
not
is,
to mention too that how does Airbnb verify the photo?
Well, some of these are Airbnb photography from back in the day, and then
That's why it
when
said
they used to shoot them, yeah,
when they used to shoot them. So some of them are a lot of these. When you're clicking through, I haven't looked at the listing photos other than uploading them recently, maybe on this listing.
Dan, what's that thing on the end of the end of the island?
That's a wine opener.
That's a heavy duty wine opener that you had to have it attached. Either that or your guest would take it.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me if it's not there anymore.
yeah.
Do you own or manage these?
I own these. I bought this in 2010 recession, and it was pretty ugly when I bought it. So it's been fixed up and stuff a little bit over the years. So.
Yeah.
Where do you live, Dan?
San Francisco.
So do you get out here often?
Yeah, usually a couple times a month. I drive. It's a 4-hour drive, and
Oh, that's not too bad.
yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, I think investing in the photography and getting, if you want to do a tour, the aerial shots, but I think just doing the basic professional photography is going to be money well spent, especially with these advanced rates that you're getting.
Yeah.
Because it'll really help convert. Although right now your as far as scheduling might be your biggest problem. Although it looks like you have some availability, it looks like.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm doing a thing right now where I don't accept the short bookings anymore. I'm holding out for people that are doing weeks at a time and 4 days or more. Otherwise, I'd be more booked up too. So a lot of the tech people in San Francisco they're all trying to get out of town there, and so I'm picking up a lot of week rentals and 4 and 5 day rentals. So that's why the calendar's not all cherry picked.
Yeah.
And then also if it doesn't book, I go up and use it myself. So
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah. Well, cool.
Nice properties.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Now we have 2 properties to rent down in Tahoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah, I think
Linda's-
you used the wrong
Linda's
word.
and Dan's.
You used the wrong word. You said rent.
Well,
That's
I
right.
mean, that was
Yeah.
part of our commission agreement.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I mean, they're good. Overall, I mean, I think the professional images are going to be a game changer. It's glad to hear that it's worked out for Linda so well. And, you know, I know from my own experience that I've always just done professional photos from day one with all of our properties, but even I've had people comment after the fact that they booked my place, and, you know, the only negative thing that sometimes happens, especially with small spaces, is it makes it look bigger than it really is. And so they told me that they didn't like HDR photography. Well, I went and found that user's list and looked through all of the places that they ever wished list, and every single one of them had HDR photography. So here that person thought that they didn't like HDR photography, and every single property in any of their wish lists had the professional HDR photography. So you know, our eyes like that, because that, I mean, it's more real, true to life if you think about it. You know, that's the cool part about it, is that everything is in focus. When we use our eyes, everything is in general is in focus, and so it's really more true to life than a standard photo where you have something, you know, closer to you that's in focus and something out, you know, behind it that's out of focus. So kind of gives you the complete experience.
That HDR filter on the Google app does a really good job with photos as well.
Yeah. So Matt, should we
Yeah. So let me just where is it at here? Cool. So now we got our big announcement for you.
yeah?
Drum roll. Tonight we are announcing that we have a social media graphics package available. It's 15 social media graphics, including some direct booking graphics for Facebook, 15 more for Pinterest, 15 more for Instagram. Total of 45 plus graphics, plus some bonus graphics in there for Labor Day, meaning you grab this package from us, you get all these graphics, and you can use them on your Facebook, your social media, your Instagram account. Look at Linda Nealon running over to pick up her credit card right now. Love it.
Sign me up.
And you can do it all online with your credit card or PayPal, and the files are delivered right to you. We send you a link, you download them right from Box, you schedule them out in your social media accounts, and you start putting the word out to all your followers, all your friends about booking your place with direct bookings. So there's the link in the chat. We've also got it in our Facebook group. And you're going to get 3 platforms and 15 images per platform, plus some extras on there for 20 bucks. So we've gone ahead and done that, and you can just check it out, and it'll be delivered right to your email. And if there's enough interest, then we're happy to serve our group, our audience, and those involved. Then we'll create more and more graphics for more and more different seasons. And there's some beach graphics in there. There's some woods graphics in there. There's some lake graphics in there. So pick and choose what you want to use. And that's what we got for you. A little something, something.
Nice.
Yeah.
So this is these are posts that we would use on social
Yeah, they're
media.
pre-made images
Here, I can.
that
do
you
want
just
me to
post. Yeah, show one of them, Derek.
Yeah, I'll open up Box and I can share my screen and just Give me a second here. Pull it up.
In order to get access, Derek first has to buy the package.
Yeah, I know, right? I have to get out my own credit card.
Too funny.
Let's see here. So go to.
Good thing it doesn't take you forever.
No, it's not going to take me forever. Then just building up the
Suspense.
suspense. Yeah, exactly. So here we go.
Can't see it.
Do you guys get to see that?
No, we can't
Yep.
see it.
All right, let me do share. There we go.
Linda, you got your screen grab command ready?
I'm going to go so quickly that you can't.
No, but it's being recorded, dude. Stop.
Yeah.
They can pause it. Stop.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's so good. Nice.
See, all those other ones, you're going to have to wait to see what else is in there. And by the
Yeah.
way, these graphics, many of these are formatted for Instagram, which requires different sizes, and Pinterest, which requires different sizes. So as you saw there, the sneak preview was not 15, it was 25. You get 75 total images for 20 minutes. So, yeah, that's it. Labor Day. So you got to get them now because Labor Day is coming in less than a month, and you want to make sure you're planning accordingly and getting those posts out there.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now,
So-
guys like Dan don't have a social media page, so. Because, you know, the thing is, like he said, he didn't really want direct booking. Now, wait, he didn't say that now. He did say he'd like to get more. So I hear the pitter patter of some keyboard keys going and making a Facebook page right now for his brand.
Do you guys handle all your Facebook and Instagram posts yourself, or do you have someone?
We do. Yeah, we do. I mean, there are other people that can do it, depending on who they are, obviously. We interviewed Wendy Bixby last week on the Expert Spotlight. You can check that out. The recording is in the group. It's also on YouTube. And she is a social media management person for vacation rental owners. So those are options that are out there. But I manage my own. But I only have one property. I don't have 18 properties like you, you know.
Yeah. But even if you did, you know, the part that I think is something that you should really think about is that, and you probably already know this, San Francisco is a feeder market for both. So really, when you're thinking about your following and like your email list, if you had an email list of all of your guests for both of your properties, you're going to be able to serve that content to both. The people that go away to Tahoe are also going away to Kauai. My good friend Alana Schroeder, she at least used to own a place in Tahoe and a place in Kauai, and she lived in the Bay Area. You know, that's a very common thing for that group. So, you know, you're able to serve up content when you build up your social media following. You can do things like having lookalike audiences and things like that, and you're going to find that the people that are driving to your properties in Tahoe, they'll probably get on a plane and come to your property in Kauai. And I would even put marketing information in your Tahoe properties about your Kauai properties.
That's pretty genius idea there. Thank you.
Yeah, you know, I did that for my Seattle properties while I was managing stuff in both locations. You know, I even had I get those free 101 things to do in Kauai magazines that you can get. I brought a bunch back with me to Seattle, and it left them in all of my units, and added a little card with the website of my Kauai business. And you know, that way, while people were staying in Seattle and potentially in the winter in the cold, they could dream of a Kauai beach vacation.
Nice. Do you guys pay for your ads on Instagram, or do you just do
I
posting?
don't do any boosted posts or paid ads at all for it. We just
Yeah.
fill it with content, especially for stuff on the blog, stuff that we post. We reshare a lot of stuff in Fort Myers. My property's in Fort Myers, so a lot of
Okay.
stuff down there.
What's the percentage of direct bookings for you guys on via these methods, other methods, with email?
Yeah.
Oh,
Instagram?
I'm sorry. We didn't mean to imply that it actually worked.
Hey, I mean,
It's a
speak for
long
yourself.
process. So,
No,
so
it is.
here's the key, to be brutally honest. The key is to siphon. The key is to siphon. You want to use the platforms for the very first booking and use everything else for the repeat,
Okay.
right? So the goal is let them spend all the dollars they want getting the very first booking, but after that, you getting the address, the email, the phone number, and then you get them to like your page. Like Derek has a thing where he has like an email gate thing or whatever on his Wi-Fi system. So he's collecting emails that way, primarily of, kids on MySpace or whatever they're doing these days. But the point is you then drive everybody that way for the secondary booking, the third booking, the referral booking. And you just
Build it over time. Yeah.
and deal with.
Yeah. So, I mean, to put in perspective, I mean, I've been doing this for a few years now. I think I've been serious about my email marketing for 6-7 years. As of last year, just my email newsletter booked $440,000 in bookings a year.
There you go. That's not
Just a small amount.
yeah.
So, and that's, I mean, that was 20-ish% of our booking. So yeah, it isn't like I'm doing 100% book direct, but it's a chunk. It's a serious chunk.
Change.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so if you look at your email list, Dan, in a unique way, you say, okay, they've come in whatever way they've come in. Now on checkout, I have some sense of an automation piece. And on checkout, a rebooking, if you get a 10% discount if you book within 15 days on a rebooking type of thing. And you run that through an automation. So when somebody checks out, they get tagged in a way, and then it sends an automated email, and there's not a lot of manual intervention. And then it goes direct to book, but you need the website to have all that stuff work, So the website, the channel manager, the this, the that. A lot of times it doesn't make sense for that 1 or 2 person property, but when you're in that 4 or 5, how many properties do you have?
7 units total.
Yeah, so you're right at 7 bookable units, right? So, when Linda's got 2, right, Linda?
I just have the 1, and then I've got the 2 in Maine that I manage.
Yeah. So, and she wants to get into Hawaii. So
Right.
there comes a tipping point where the website, so like my website just straight up pushes to VRBO because it's easier. We're getting ready to change that to have a contact form, and we'll just have a conversation about booking direct at that point. But when you just have one property, you have to make those tough decisions because then do you get a channel manager? Do you get online software? Now the money isn't necessarily there for the trade-off. Derek and I have been through this multiple times talking about all the different trade-offs. And at some point it makes sense. But below that, it doesn't quite make sense yet, So, but bottom line is get the email list going and figure out the systems and the process internally so that you're collecting the email, harvesting the emails from every interaction you have. Because you, by the way, should have emails not just for those people that booked. You should have emails for those people that inquire, right? Because there are people that inquire, but you're booked, or they inquire and then they decide not to go with you for whatever reason. Those are still great candidates for email marketing.
How are you scraping those emails off of because I know you can't get it from an Airbnb guest, an email.
Yeah, so
you can.
Yeah, you gotta work hard on it. I mean, So there's one way we have is the beach guide, right? You sign up for a beach guide, you get the beach guide. for all the beaches in Southwest Florida because people come to our area for beaches. So with your Princeville stuff, give them a beach guide for Princeville. And the first message you can say is, do you want a beach guide? Great. And then you got to spell out how to get it without them masking the link or all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do have to be very specific.
Yeah.
You can't put phone
Well,
number in.
you can say, you know, hey, I have a great beach and activity guide. If you give me your email address, I'll send it to you in the chat and just do it.
Oh, won't the email get masked?
Not after they book.
So, but we're talking about the
Pre-book.
inquiry. Yeah.
The inquiry. Yeah, and the inquiry, that's kind of hard. But
So you have to say something like Google my brand name.
Yeah.
Or search for my brand name on the main search website.
Or just like far as what I do is every single Airbnb message that goes out from my company has my name and my company written. So I have a signature, you know, basically I do Derek Eaton, Seattle Oasis Vacation Rentals every single time. So if someone has half a brain, they can Google Seattle Oasis Vacation Rentals and boom, you know, they can find me.
I thought about that, having a creative name that people could search that wouldn't get masked would be a good technique.
Yeah, so I mean, they won't mask the, like I don't put the domain, but I just put Seattle Oasis Vacation Rentals. That's some company name. So then, you know, if I don't throw the .com on it, they don't worry about it. Other things that we've talked about on some of these other videos is other chats is you can actually put an image of your brand, like once you have a logo and a website and everything, on the TVs. Like use the HDR images that you get and then upload a image of your logo and brand and website and place it on the TVs in the picture. And Google and Airbnb is not smart enough to realize that that's not just an image on the TV.
After your advice, I did that, so it's now on my TV.
Oh, you did?
Nice.
Yeah, but if you put that down as a watermark in the bottom right of the photo, they'll pick that up.
Yep. Or they'll try and alter your image to get it out of the image. That's what Airbnb's done with some of mine, but you can still see it when you open up the full photo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah.
But that's one of the nice things about VRBO over Airbnb. They do allow you to communicate, that you do get their email and phone number in the initial email contact.
For now.
Free. For now.
So you got to get creative. I mean, we'll probably have to spend more and more of these roundtable talks talking about how to really get creative with getting contact information.
Yeah.
No, so one thing we're modifying is our lease agreements, right? We need to have everybody sign a lease agreement agreeing to the condo rules before they check in. No exception. In there, we want mailing addresses so that we can mail stuff to people. To them, they're signing a lease agreement. It's an agreement. It's a contract. So they have a reason to put in their address. Well, now we can mail them a handwritten thank you card when they check out of our place. Are you kidding me? What kind of impression that would be? And I know, Dan, you got a lot of bookings and a lot of stuff going on to the point where you can't even reply to those messages we saw. But if you want more bookings, send them a handwritten thank you card after they check out. Like a week later.
With your website so that people can book direct next time.
There you go.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Hey, Derek, this is John. I have a question.
Yeah.
So my website and everything is all working, but my hesitation about trying to encourage people to book with me direct is, again, I do dynamic pricing. So even within the same season, my pricing can be way different from what they're paying for their stay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the reasons why I've kind of just softly looked at follow up, but not really actively, following up. How are you addressing that?
Well, you need to have your pricing engine needs to tie into your pricing on your website.
No, it's all tied in. I'm just saying, what they're paying now for, let's say, a summer vacation in let's forget about COVID, 2019,
Hmm.
can be very different for booking for 2021.
Oh
Right?
yeah, absolutely.
And so, most times people expect to pay something similar for the same season. And so that's one of the things that I've always struggled with. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I dealt with that in COVID where I've had people that booked at my super low rates and now they're postponing to next year, and I tell them pricing equals demand. You book during a low demand period, next year it's going to be high demand. If you don't, I mean, that's just the way it is. I'm giving you another year to book. That's my gift to you. Yeah, you're not going to get the same pricing. You know.
All right, cool.
All right,
Thanks.
good. Great conversation. Love the interaction. We've gone over our standard allocated hour that we like to keep it to. We love the conversation. Feel free to post more and more questions into the Facebook group. We love the interaction that's starting to really happen there, and the community we're developing. And that's what it is. If you know anybody that would love those social media graphics, feel free to share the link with them. We'd love to help them out with that. And we'll see you next week on the Vacation Rental Roundtable. Until next time, don't forget to live happy, smile a lot, and high five everybody around you. Take care, guys. Have a good night.
Yep.
Thank you. Good night.